today we are coding a MetaMask connection in Svelte in 3 easy steps. These are all my experiences from working at MetaMask as a staff engineer right into this tutorial. This is the easiest way to start your Svelte Web3 application in 2023. Step 1 will be to create a Sveltekit application and a Svelte store to lay out the foundation of our feature. Sveltekit is the production standard for any Svelte application, as it comes with routing, server-side rendering, and all the goodies that you'll need to build a modern Web3 application. Svelte stores will be the perfect tool to host our connection logic. Let's create one under the index file of the lib folder. Here we import writable from svelte/store. For now, let's create a skeleton of a custom store. Whenever you code an application, you should think of the product first, and that means driving your logic from the needs of the feature. So let's imagine how our UI will behave. We will want to implement the following behavior. First, we will prompt the user to install MetaMask if they don't have it. Secondly, we'll prompt them to connect if they're not connected. 3, we will show them the currently connected address once they're connected. And lastly, we will keep the application in sync with the extension to avoid any confusion for the user. This flow would look a little bit like this if we think of the conditional rendering in our application. In step 2, we will check if MetaMask is installed and create the Connect Wallet button. We're making use of 3 writable stores directly inside our custom store. We have a first one where we keep track of if we have loaded or not. This is especially useful since MetaMask is only present on the client side, and Sveltekit is both a client and a server framework. The second one checks if MetaMask is present using a small utility function. And finally, we'll have one to store the state of the wallet, which could be things like the wallet address or the current network. Right under these writable stores, we have a pretty basic connect function submitting a request to MetaMask and storing the values back into our state. But let's make things more interesting. But first, please don't forget to like and comment this video. It really helps the channel grow. Now back to the code. We'll create a function called init that will be used to check if the user is already connected, to avoid prompting them each time that they open the application. This init function will check if the user already has connected their account, which we'll explain more in step number 3. If they have already connected the account, we'll simply request it again, and MetaMask will give it to us without prompting visually the user. This is also the right time to register a listener that will be watching for any change in the wallet if the user changes their account or decides to disconnect from the extension. We will use a new function that we called handle accounts change, which simply sets the new accounts to the state if a user switches or disconnects like we mentioned. For consistency, we'll add the same listener inside our connection function, and not only in the init. Now let's jump to the final step, which will be to persist the state for the next time the user visits our app. For this, we'll modify the init function and ask Svelte to subscribe to any change in the wallet store. This way we will save these changes to local storage each time that the user wallet changes. This is obviously a lot of code for a quick explainer, but I will leave the full tutorial on my blog with a link to it in the description. Now let's make sure that everything worked properly. And here we have it. If we click the connect button, we're prompted to connect our wallet, and the UI will update accordingly. We can also disconnect directly from MetaMask, and the UI will also respond to the change. I hope this gave you an idea of how easy it is to work with Svelte, and see you in the next video.